I understand that the Xuan-Yuan sword series has been regularly receiving numbered entries and spin-offs since 1990, but it has entirely escaped my radar all these years. The series itself may be as niche as they come, but to some, it is regarded as one of the best Chinese RPG titles and one of the region's longest running series in the genre. With its latest iteration, Xuan-Yuan Sword 7 comes west, and I found it no better time than now to jump in and see what I've been missing for the last 30 years. Xuan-Yuan Sword 7 is ultimately a living, breathing adventure in every sense of the word. Players are introduced to Taishi, a boy who escaped the destruction of his family's manor as a child along with his little sister. 10 years later after the incident, his sister is sick, and he does things for money in hopes of curing her. This leads him to deal with escorting troops into a forest after reports of a strange quake. It's here that the group encounters a monster ambush, to which his sister becomes involved and wounded. We learn that Taishi is hiding a secret that the military might be after as he teleports to a different dimension to save his sister. The story becomes more grand following this scene, as he ultimately motivated by bringing his sister back to life and even transferring her soul into a wooden doll. Xuan-Yuan Sword 7 is very much like a fantasy Chinese drama. It's slow moving as players will be experiencing hours of spoken dialogue. This is taken a step further as you play through every second of the tasks at hand. All the monotonous traveling interactions that an adventure may have will be played through, and the day slowly passes by. What this does is it provides you with an exact sense of time by viewing the sun set and rise as you progress the narrative. There are ways to step off the beaten path and use a quick travel system, but it's not regularly needed. The story itself centers around themes of political injustice, loss, love, and determination. It takes you across the sprawling map of unique towns and interesting places as you do whatever it takes to complete your mission. The plot extends further than just the MacGuffin of saving his sister, but it never loses sight of this even after several other story elements are introduced. I would say that if you aren't up for a lengthy story, then Xuan-Yuan Sword 7 will probably bore you. There are story cinematics in nearly every scene. You are constantly witnessing character interacting through slow, drawn-out dialogue scenes. I've noticed this in Chinese fantasy dramas, but Western players may not be used to this exposition. The drama in the game is real, and you'll be witnessing this over dramatic cutscenes of character death, romance, political engagement, heroism, and even comedic elements. All of this and more has been turned up to 11, and I actually quite liked it. I was immersed in the twists and turns that the story provides, and even the moments where the characters sit by a fire and talk about what they did earlier in the day. Similar to the story, the battles are also paced slowly throughout the adventures. Encounters are action-based and have players combining a few different sword techniques together to take down enemies. I swear it felt like I was fighting wolves for the first 7 hours of the game, but then things begin to ramp up as companions join your party and I was allowed to unlock new abilities. This also gave me a sense of adventure, as if I was truly becoming stronger and taking on tougher enemies. Boss battles are also unique, given that after you defeat them, they will provide you with a new battle stance. Up to 2 stances can be equipped at once that add a new layer to your strikes. These attacks can also be leveled up the more you use them. The list of enemies isn't incredibly vast, but after the 10-hour mark, they do become a little different. It's totally possible to pass up many fights, but at the cost of missing out on experience. Other elements like equipment and companions will also be customized over time by heading to this place called Elysium. Here, players can use materials to rebuild structures and upgrade specific passives and other elements about their character. Still, it can be ignored for the most part until about after that 10-hour, 12-hour mark. I think Xuan-Yuan Sword 7 is a gorgeous game with some wonderful set pieces and character designs. The high fantasy is masked around this ancient era and it works incredibly well. You will find some small towns that are well designed throughout the game, but there's very little to do in them. Most NPCs have just nonsense words above their heads, which limits town exploration. Furthermore, the voice dialogue is amazing. Everything is voiced here, even the random conversations characters have in the field. It's all acted through motion captured as well, so it plays out as if you're watching a television show. Some of the translation work is a bit dry, but I was never lost during the exposition. Xuan-Yuan Sword 7 is an absolute gem of an action RPG. Its dedication to world building and narrative does not go unrewarded, as you find yourself entangled in the oftentimes over-dramatized politically charged plot. It's high fantasy in every sense of the word. Still, I wish there was something done to make NPCs a little more engaging, and the battle system could have used some balancing. Regardless, it's going to be tough for me to ignore this long-running series anymore. Noisy Pixel is giving Xuan-Yuan Sword 7 an 8.5 out of 10. Thank you for watching. Please read the full review at noisypixel.net. Noisy Pixel is run by a group of gamers who work hard to deliver news, reviews, previews, and more. Please subscribe to keep up with all our future content.